welcome back to KCCG. Today we're going over the green cards that were spoiled a few days ago for the next set, which I don't think has an official name yet. I mean, this deck does, the Guardian of the Namekians. The full set, it looks like, might be called Colossal Warfare, but that might just be a working title. So who knows? Anyway, I just wanted to start going over the cards. Well, first, I wanted to go over Bond here, and I really like this skill so far. I mean, there's only Bond 2 and 3, so there's not like a ton of variance in like the number of cards, but you know, it's harder to do at higher numbers, and you're not really bonding with when you only need one card. But I like the idea of it, and I can't wait to see it on non-Namekian cards, personally. And because it seems like it's going to be really cool. So there's a lot you can do with it. They might do something with sands, or branch out if they do a second TOP pack. They can do it by universe, especially with Universe 7. Anyway, it's very interesting idea, especially since it just counts battle cards. It doesn't say like battle area or whatever or in play. It's just battle cards, and it really represents like the bond that they have, or the fact that they can fuse in some, I guess, in other cases. But it feels like it's gonna have it can really do some different. It can really sorry. It can really bring in some new effects, like reduce the cost of removal a bit, which which is sort of here on Namekian Bond Sayonel. That's how I'm going to pronounce his name. Yeah, when you play this card, draw one card, then you may choose up to 2 cards from your life, add them to your hand, then choose one or more cards from your hand, and up to one of your opponent's battle cards, and KO it. Oh, if you choose to add one or more cards to your hand. Sorry. So, I mean, that's really wordy for Bond 3. There's a lot going on there. It's actually a pretty solid card, in my opinion. Good card advantage with some removal. But, it can bring down the cost of removal to, like, 2 if you have Bond 3 on it. Because it'll be kind of iffy. It'll be hard to do on turn 2, turn 3, but it'll be good later game. And I'm all about cheap removal, personally. But let's get into the cards. Bond, cool ability. Can't wait to see more of it. But let's get into the cards. We'll start with the starter deck here again. We've got Piccolo Jr. for the leader, which is an interesting choice in my opinion. Instead of just going with regular Piccolo, they went Piccolo Jr. So he's still evil here. This is still Dragon Ball, not Dragon Ball Z. So his power is like this is like a slightly lower powered Piccolo than the beginning of Dragon Ball Z, and I'm pretty sure 99% sure he doesn't have special beam cannon at this point. So it's a cool choice. He's still a bad guy as well. So which is also an interesting choice considering you got Gohan on one of the unique cards and all that. So anyway. So front side, draw whenever you attack a leader, and he untaps 2 energy when he awakens. Very solid front side. I like it. I mean, Pan does the same thing. A lot of very playable leaders have that as their front side, and I know it seems to be an issue in the community right now is that the front side of leaders aren't super exciting, and I personally have a problem with that. I mean, it's good, and they're not supposed to be exciting. You're not supposed to be on the front side for very long. The game is supposed to focus on the awakened side, the more interesting side. Like that's the like climactic part of the battle is when you're below half-life, and well, as you can see in Piccolo Jr. Evil Reborn, he's beat to hell. He doesn't have his hat on there, or turban, whatever you want to call it. He's all ripped up and beaten up. It shows him after he's awakened. His power has grown since he's gotten beat down. Or he's just drawing on more power, like digging deep, trying to go for that last push. And I mean, that's where this game lives, is on the awakened side, in the second half of the game. So the interesting designs are supposed to be on the back side. The front side doesn't matter as much. Because I mean, you rush to 4 life as quickly as possible. I mean, we put stuff to self-awaken in our decks all the time just to keep your opponent from stalling you out. It's the backside that you're supposed to want. And I like the backside on this one. Draw a card whenever he attacks, typical awaken side, and then once per turn, pay a green, choose one of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost 5 or less and KO it, and then you get to pump himself. He pumps himself right for 5,000 power. So you get to kill something, 5 or less, very good price range right there in my opinion. And this is a solid leader just with that, and then he pumps himself to 20k, making him a big threat, requiring either a negate or a combo to stop the damage after they just lost something. Plus you draw a card. I see him being probably the most popular Namekian leader for Namekians. Lord Slug is pretty cool, but I see Piccolo Jr. being like the premier Namekian leader for now. And plus, that art's gonna be so cool in foil too. Look at that. They do a lot of the art in this game is really good. Like this one right here, King Piccolo, Lord of Terror. He's got double strike. He's 5 cost. He's got bond 3. Sorry, I'm just reading off of here because I haven't memorized everything. Reduce the energy cost of this card in hand by 2. Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's an interesting way to use bond, where they did say the card with bond will count towards the total bond. So if it's got bond 2 and you've got one other Namekian, when you play it, it triggers. Bond on a permanent that affects the cost is really interesting because you need 3 other cards in play. He reduces it by 2, and so just 2, not the specified cost. So he would cost 2 green and 1. Very playable. I mean, very good card right there, just with that. And then when you play this card, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost 5 or less and KO it. So it's very solid card. I see this is gonna be a staple for Namekians right here, because that bond being able to reduce into a 3 to be a 3 cost piece of removal that hits 5 or less. And he's got double strike at 25k. That's, you know, a lot of really good stats here. This card is good. You know, the bond with Namekians limits it to only Namekian decks, but it's gonna be good on those decks. I mean, like this starter deck, I see, because of bond and like the other mechanics with Namekians, I see this starter deck being a very big, playing a very big role in building Namekian decks. If you're going to play a Namekian deck, you're going to end up buying 2 of these, and that's it. Not that's it, but you won't be needing much more past that. Until we haven't seen the super rares. You'll probably need some super rares, considering they teased that there's going to be something that works with that rare King Piccolo. So they didn't really list many of the other unique cards, so we'll have to go to the card list real quick. Let's ignore that for now. So we got Piccolo Jr., we got Indomitable Link, Piccolo, and Gohan. So we'll start with Piccolo since he's kind of the one that starts the whole combo. When you play this, so he's a 2 cost for 10. Only needing 1 green, so super splashable. Because he searches up and out of the lesson Gohan. That costs 3 or less from your deck and put it in your hand, which means he can hit the Gohan that he comes with, which is removal. Kill something with cost 4 or less for 3, pretty solid, and he's 15k. I mean, you can get the promo Gohan because he doesn't specify color. Choose up to 1 adolescent Gohan. So you can get, Miraculous Rush Gohan. Well, no, sorry, 3 or less from your deck. His effect isn't a trigger in the deck. Sorry. So yeah, the promo Gohan is the main one that I'm seeing being really good. So he might be decent with like a green-red splash, which the new 1-drop Gohan wouldn't be too bad. It would be pretty good in as well. What other? I can't think of any other adolescent Gohans off the top of my head. It looks like he has Universe 7 tagged, so he can look up the blue Universe 7 Gohan that digs for stuff, or that you can also evolve off of for Universe 7. So he's not a bad piece of tech for a Universe 7 deck. I don't see him being used much outside of the starter deck. I mean, this little combo is not bad. It's a turn 2, turn 3 combo if they're setting up pretty quickly. Outside of that, yeah, it's not much. It's a starter deck. They're starter deck cards. Then we got Sayonel, and yeah, so those were the only two that we were missing. Piccolo and Gohan. So, also I was going to check, yeah, they haven't officially named it, but in the working artwork with Goku and stuff on it, it does say Colossal Warfare, I believe, like in all caps and stuff. So you have to shout it. I think I shouted it in another one of my videos. I'm not going to do that now. I'm tired. Alright, so but on the 8th it looks like we're going to get the official announcement for everything. So we'll get the official name, as well as the second starter deck, the yellow one, and the yellow cards. So that'll be a fun video. It'll be fun. A fun day as well. So we got Piccolo leader here. You know, pretty much same front side as Piccolo Jr. And then on the back side he has a bond with Namekians. So if you have two Namekians on the board, he has critical. Plus he lets you draw a card whenever he attacks, and he pumps Namekian. I like that as well. I don't like it as much as Piccolo Jr., but I see him being used for some Namekian decks. Maybe something more aggressive, especially with the critical and the pump. But it does specify battle area, so he can't pump himself. So don't forget that. He's a pretty solid aggressive leader, but again, I like Piccolo Jr. a little bit better. I like this art though. I'm glad they finally used it. I'm glad that it's being introduced when commons and uncommons are now foils, so you can get that foiled out, because that's going to look cool too. And then we have Lord Slug, which I wasn't expecting, but I mean, I also wasn't expecting all of green to pretty much be Namekians. So this is the leader that has a different front side than you typically see, since he's pretty much Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta front side, except no additional power. You just take a life, give him critical, he awakens by drawing 2 cards. And you can self-awaken, which is pretty nice. I see him being used for some Namekian decks, but I still think Piccolo Jr. is a bit better, because there's other options, I believe, for self-awakening. I mean, you can still just play TN. Anyway, when this card attacks, draw a card. Yep, and then yeah, his other side is you discard to make your opponent discard, which is interesting. It feeds into the theme for Namekians, the regeneration theme of recurring cards from the drop area to the battle area. So you can just ditch a bunch of stuff and then bring it back anyway. So some people I've seen express that they don't like it because you're not really gaining anything out of it. But with how Namekians work, you're not losing anything by discarding a card. You're just making it easier, or an alternate way to bring... You can still use the card, is what I'm trying to say. You're not losing it, effectively. So you're not losing anything by actually discarding, but your opponent is. So it's a slight tick of tempo in your favor. That's my opinion on it, anyway. Still like Piccolo Jr. a bit better, but I do see Lord Slug getting played. And then the card that everyone is excited about, yeah, it's funny, it's just an uncommon. But Newfound Power, Son Gohan, he's just, Saiyan Kaba, but gains critical instead of double strike. So, that's another, engine for self-awakening, so you don't have to rely on Lord Slug if you get stalled out. And, critical is always useful. It terrifies people. They don't want to lose that card advantage. So, going second is really useful with this card. Just start that tempo super early. I still like Saiyan Kaba a lot. I mean, I can see, red-green decks playing both this and Kaba, just to ensure you have a really strong turn 1 play. But I don't see this replacing Kaba. I just see it, being included with him, and if you're playing a red-green aggro, or, just being played in a green deck. I mean, it's just another green aggressive play. So, good card, very good card. And we got, Barrier 15k 2-drop. Yeah. Good for draft. Here we go. Reign of Terror King Piccolo. This is the card that they stated will be really good with one of the super rares. which the card just says activate main. Place a card in your drop area. Choose up to one of your energy, switch it to active mode, then choose a Piccolo or Piccolo Jr. with an energy cost 4 or less from your hand and play it. Which means we're going to get a super rare Piccolo or Piccolo Jr. that costs 4 or less. And he's probably going to have a pretty good auto, like ETB auto. So, keep an eye out for that in like a month when we when we finally get the super rares. Actually, let's take a look. I can just hit this button. Scroll down, and we'll take a quick look at when super rares are coming out. Super rares, June 29th, so 26 days from the day I'm recording this. So yeah, just shy of like 4 weeks. So about a month. Anyway, yeah, he's got dual attack on top of that. I mean, I think his activate main is what's going to be mostly used, especially if that super rare is good. But I mean, he's also a 5-drop. It really depends on what that super rare does. If it's a 4-drop with a good ETB trigger, just play it on turn 4 or turn 5 and have an extra energy instead of discarding a card. And it's a weird card. I don't know. I really wonder what it's gonna be. It might have like an extra requirement to play it normally, so cheating it into play like this might be useful. Who knows? They claim this will be synergistic, and just looking at it, I mean, it just reveals that we're gonna get a Piccolo super rare that costs 4 or less, and it might just be better to play it by itself, unless it costs like 4 green, and even then you're probably gonna be playing mono green Namekians, so it won't matter. It could also be, though it could be like another color. I mean, it doesn't specify the color. It could be like, a black Piccolo. It's probably not going to be, but it could just be a different color. Who knows? Anyway, we got Guru, Gift of Power Guru. He just pumps one of your cards by 5,000. I don't see it being very useful. I mean, he's just gonna, I don't know. You're just gonna end up using him for combo later on. And I just don't see it. You pay 1 to be able to pump by 5,000. It's built into a few cards already. There's better 1-drops for this. I mean, in my opinion, I'd rather just be playing Gohan instead of having filler. Though I mean, he does count towards Bond because he's Namekian. So maybe you'll play him. Maybe he'll be worth it. I don't know. I don't think so. Anyway, we'll continue. Then we have Nail. I'm glad Nail's getting a card. He's a cool character. He's got a cool design and all that. He just looks different. Nail, the Namekian ace. He's got an auto with Bond 2. When he attacks, draw a card and he gains 5,000 power for the duration of the turn. Really, really good for a 2-drop. I guess, and then coming on the heels of Guru, I mean, it kind of kills my iffy about Guru, because you can play Guru turn 1, Nail turn 2, and have a 15k that draws you a card right there. That's pretty solid, especially for an aggressive deck. So, Nail could be a reason to play Guru, because I think it's a pretty solid card, especially for a rare. I like these kind of rares, like cheap rares and super rares, like the low costed ones. That's what I would really like to see, because they get some really interesting design, like this. So. And yeah, Cross Worlds, when I saw Fearless Pan and the Explosive Spirit Goku, I was crazy excited for those cards. I still love them. Anyway, Kami the Watcher, 3 cost. He's an uncommon. He draws a card when you play him, and he's got Bond 2. He's a permanent. He reduces the cost in your hand by 2, so that makes him 1 green. Maybe. This is a solid maybe. I mean, the draw, he'd be effectively just become Boo, and they're making him Boo, but you can't play him turn 1. So maybe is all I would say for this card. he's just gonna be played late game. He just replaces himself. He can't be played early game very easily. I don't know. Okay, then we've got Kind Hearted Namekian Dende. This is during Majin Buu, so he's already got it. When you play this card, look at the top 3 cards, choose a Namekian. Yeah, this card will be C play. This would be C play over Guru, You play him turn 1, search up that nail, then play him on turn 2. Solid play right there. And he's a common, so you'll have a ton of them. I think he comes in the starter deck too, so you're set. And then Mr. Popo finally gets a card. It's a 2-drop 15k, costs 2 green. This is also during Majin Buu, because, Dende's there. And he's just a god, apparently. Obviously he's not Namekian. When you attack your combo with this card, if your leader card is green, you mill 3. Which, with the recursion effects on some of the Namekians, can be useful. Can also feed into Overwhelm. I see this card being played. He's very interesting. Like my old Mira deck, it was green and black. I'd play it in there, except Mira's not green. So I should change leaders. I see it getting played eventually, with some sort of Overwhelm deck. It'd be pretty fun. And then another Sayonel, Namekian duo Sayonel. He is the Namekian. The Namekian super combo, and I wonder if they're changing super combos to be either specific like this, because this is a same kind of effect that the TOP super combos have. As long as your leader card is a green Namekian, you only need you can play him at 5 life, not 4. The typical super combos require you to be at 4 life. That extra life you don't have to awaken. Your opponent's going to stall you out. Usually around 5 or 6 life anyway. Means your super combos are still playable. I mean, this will give a Namekian deck a really big advantage over most traditional decks. I mean, or non-tribal decks. He's also tagged as Universe 6, but he's not going to be played in that. It'll probably be years until we see Purina or Sayonel leader. It'll be a while. But, solid super combo for the Namekian decks. It comes in the starter deck as well. So here's Purina as well. He, once per turn, chooses a Namekian from your hand, place it under this card, draw a card, and this card gains 10,000 power and critical. Not bad, especially for a 2-drop. He'd be really good right behind the 1-drop Gohan. Heavy critical early game is really good. And he'd be 20,000 crit. So you can attack with Gohan, take the card from your life, and then take that card, put it under this guy, and swing again. Resource denial is fun. So I see him getting played, especially in the more aggressive Namekian decks. Lord Slug Young again, another rare. Purina was uncommon, sorry. And this one is bond 2 with Slug's Army, not just Namekian, so it's proof that its bond is not unique to the Namekian cards. When you play this card, if your leader is Slug's Army, so it requires Lord Slug Leader, choose up to one of your Slug's Army in your drop area with energy cost 3 or less and play it. So there's a bit of your recursion that Lord Slug enables. The leader enables, Mr. Popo enables, which is odd combination right there, but whatever. So you can ditch something from the Awaken Lord Slug Leader's effect. Make your opponent discard, play this guy, and get that card back into play if it's Slug's Army that costs 3 or less. And then you get to untap one of your energy. That's pretty solid. So yeah, it looks like there might be a few different style of Namekian decks. You've got like an aggro deck, maybe a longer or a slower, more control style deck that tries to cheat stuff into play with the 5-drop Lord Piccolo, and then you've got stuff that leads more towards Slug's Army. I don't know what's gonna be popular because with this series, everything is people are psyched about everything, so I see everything getting tried. Anyway, Lord Slug returned to form. When you play this card, you shift the 1 Slug's Army from your deck with energy cost 4 left, and add it to your hand. Not a bad search up, because he can hit Lord Slug Young again. He can find another one of himself. He can start finding this guy here, Anguilla. Yep, Anguilla, who's got Bond 2 and Critical. Bonds with Slug's Army. When it attacks, if your leader is Slug's Army, your opponent chooses one of their cards and places it in the drop area. He's a 3-drop. That's pretty solid. Paired with Critical, that's denial of 2 cards. And they get to choose the card that they discard, but still, card denial is really useful. And that kind of stuff is going to make this 2-drop Lord Slug useful as well. If people end up playing a Lord Slug deck in the long run, it's going to be an annoying thing to deal with. Then we got Head Honcho Metamacha, and interesting art there. The little guys are weird looking. When you play this card, if your leader is Slug's Army, play 1 meta token. So you get as a token. And you get 15,000 power for 2. There's easier ways to do that. I mean, it is an extra combo. It's probably just gonna. I mean, the token's not even Slug's Army. If it was, it'd be useful. It's still gonna see play because there's not a ton of Slug's Army cards. But this is probably the worst. And then we get Tambourine. I'm super excited to see these guys show up. Because, yeah, Tambourine was super cool. And he's really good here. He's just a green Quick Rush Trunks. 2-drop 15k critical for 2 green. Play it. He's good. He's really aggressive. Plus that art is cool. Get your foil ones as soon as possible. Then we got Symbol. He's just, 15k, 5k blocker for 1. You don't get to play him for free. He doesn't get to be one of the free blockers, which is sad. But it's cool to see these guys show up, get cards, and then you got Dark Vassal Drum. He's just a 10k vanilla for 1. So play Tambourine. Probably skip the other 2. None of them are Namekians because they're all Demon Clan. Because that's what Namekians were called at first. And we'll go from there. We got Special Beam Cannon. Piccolo's special move from the start of Dragon Ball Z. 1 cost, green, activate battle. If your leader is Piccolo, it gains 10,000 power for the duration of the battle. Then choose up to one of your cards in your opponent's hands and place it in the drop area. Very solid card. I see this being used more offensively than defensively. Obviously, it'll work very well defensively because 10,000 for 1. I mean, it's a typical thing, but the discard is much more useful on offense because you can potentially prevent your opponent from comboing during that combat. When used defensively, they've already played their combos, so you can't stop them from doing more. So it's going to feel a lot better when you're doing it offensively rather than defensively, which also fits the theme of Special Beam Cannon. And then I think we've only got 2 more cards. Yeah, Planet Namek. Typical 1 cost field. You pay a green, choose 1 card in your hand, place it in the drop area, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose 1 Namekian with energy cost 2 or less, and put it into play. Then shuffle. It's like the Big Yeti Star, but a little more useful. It digs it a bit deeper, and the Namekians are a lot better than the vanilla 2-drop, than the 2-drop Metacoolers. So, I mean, this can dig you for nail, but you're not going to have the bond right there. I mean, it'll get them out on turn 1, so if you're playing first on turn 2, you can potentially have 2 nails on the board to swing in with. Obviously, this will be a staple for Namekian decks. It's pretty solid. And then last but not least, a very strong counter in Sacrifice. So you negate it, plus it has a permanent. It's just, standard negate. But it has the permanent that if your leader is Namekian, you can take a life and add it to your hand to make this card free. So it's got, Mecha Freeze's effect built into it, but it has to be Namekian. And it just has to be Namekian. So this can be played if there's Namekian leaders that aren't green in the future. So this has very good potential, future potential, and it's very strong right now. Plus, you can play other negates with it. But yeah, this card is solid, and it looks like you're going to get it. And it is coming in the starter deck. I don't know how many, at least 2, probably 4. The last 2 decks, if I remember correctly, last 2 decks that came with negates, the first one didn't come with them, but the second 2 did. They did come with a full play set. So, like I said, if you want to build Namekian, buy at least one of the starter decks. Probably buy 2 so that you max out all unique cards play sets and maximize your choices. Sacrifice is probably my favorite card for the set. It's pretty flavorful and it's very strong. I also like Special Beam Cannon. Nail is really good, and the Piccolo Junior leader and Gohan here. So there's a lot of really good cards here, and I'm very surprised that all green is just Namekian stuff. I was not expecting that, but it's about time we finally got them, and they probably decided, all right, they waited long enough. We'll give them enough stuff that they can build not just a deck, but multiple, like various Namekian decks that have different play styles. And I'm really excited for this. I'm definitely going to try it out. And I'm really excited for the rest of the set. There's going to be a whole lot more. Looking at the silhouettes, yellow cards. It might not be Dragon Ball from the looks of it, because we know that the yellow starter deck, it has Super Saiyan 4 Goku as the leader. So I don't know what the theme for the yellow cards are going to be. Red, you can obviously tell by the hair here, it's going to be Baby Vegeta. That's Great Ape Baby Vegeta or Golden Ape. Looks like blue might. I've seen theories that it might be that movie I don't remember the name of, the one with the giant bug monster and the elf with the flute and all that. Weird choice for me, in my opinion. Black. There's something sticking out there. I don't know. The super rare cards. I don't know who that is. It's either Goku or Vegeta. It could be, Gogeta, but I don't think they would waste him on a super rare. He'd probably be the secret. And then they just didn't want to give any of the special rares away this time, so it's just blank. And I figure they'll probably do the secret rare. Well, it's not even listed on here, and July 6th is the week before that. I don't know. They might do the secret rare the same time as the special rares, like they did with TOP, or they did a week early. So like, you guys can't leak it, we're gonna leak it, and I figure that'll happen again. Anyway, box. They're gonna. I just noticed the box promotion spot. Sorry, which is different from Super Dash Packs. Yeah, something we read recently about the ICV2 article about the upcoming stuff said that boxes will come with a special promo card, and so it was worded like it would come in the box. So it might be happening with set 4 as well. That's an interesting surprise. Anyway, I'm going to cut it off here. So green looks really cool. I will see you guys again in a week for the yellow stuff. As for on top of that, I'll also be putting up some gameplay videos, uploading them now, and we just had a draft, and spoiler, I'm in all 3 rounds, because I just chose to be in round 1, I was actually the feature match in round 2, and then round 3, someone in the feature match did not want to be on camera, so I just, screw it, I'll do it again. So you get to check out my skills at drafting, which I'm not the best. But we had a lot of fun with the draft. It was TOP, and it was super fun. I'm rebuilding my collection again, and I got some very big help for that. So I did already thank him, but thank you again, Emilio, for the help. I don't know if you'll even watch this video or get this far, but I really appreciate it. Anyway, I will see you guys again in a week for yellow. And you guys have a good one.